call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Here.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Here. Approval of the minutes.
I'll motion.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes. Treasurer's report.
Okay, for the month, we have the financial recap for the board. Donations received, $1,000 from Marie Evans for Down on Me Scholarship, $3,000 anonymous for Make a Difference Scholarship, $500 from the VFW for football, $300 from the VFW for class of 23, $50 from Tracy Wolf-Coleman for nurse supplemental, $1,000 from Leetonia Steel Erectors for the John Rydarowitz Scholarship, $50 from Kathy McCoy for Literacy Night, and $100 from Dave Hozak for nurse supplemental in memory of Mary Ann Hozak. Financial items to approve: renewal of the district's insurance through Liberty Mutual from April 1st, 23 to March 31st, 24, in the amount of $45,564. Creation of Fund 0079031, Make a Difference Scholarship. Rates and resolutions for fiscal year 24. Inside Mills General Fund 0.5, Permanent Improvement 2.5, Permanent Improvement Lease 1.6, Outside Mills General Fund Current Expense 19.5, General Fund Emergency 3.44, and Library Bond 0.52. Approve following supplemental budgets for 22-23 school year: baseball, softball, and appropriation adjustments for fiscal year 23 for miscellaneous state grants, ESSER funds, IDA Part B, Title I, Title 4A, Title 2A, and miscellaneous federal grants.
Motion.
Second?
Discussion.
On the two supplementals, I commend the staff for, they're here, I know, working the concessions.
Yeah.
That's
They are.
tough to give up a Saturday and a Sunday, but it's nice that they do that and they aren't out soliciting from the citizens. So it's a nice thing.
Very
but-
busy.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes. Public participation. You want to?
Madam President, I think we have a lot of people in here that will be later on with the
Okay.
student achievement and some of the things we want to recognize our kids, but I don't know if we have anyone, and even Mrs. George, kind of have you set aside for, I know you wanted to speak to the board, if that's okay in a few
Yep.
minutes?
Mhm.
Okay.
So we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. We've had a very busy end of February, 1st of March, and here we are, March 22nd, with, we are 8 weeks away from the end of the school year. 8 weeks, 2 months. Hard to believe it's gone that quickly. The first 9-week grading period always flies, and then you have a long time in between with Christmas and Thanksgiving. Third 9 weeks arrived on Monday, and again, after this week, we have 8 weeks remaining, and it's going to go very fast. Some good news: we have a number of individuals in here, students in here, that have done some really nice things from art, some of the work that they've done from an artistic standpoint. We have some spelling bee participants and winners, and we have escape vape contest, poster contest winners as well. Mrs. Dolak, our K-8 elementary art teacher, was kind enough to come in here, and she's going to help me with some of the individuals in here. But I'm going to start with, does it matter which one we want to start with tonight, that we could recognize our kids? And parents and guardians, glad you could come in here and bring folks in so that we could recognize, and it's another thing in your life, another night in your life. Maybe you don't have time to do that, but obviously you did, and we appreciate it because it's important to us, and it was important to our kids, and it's good to recognize kids for doing good things. Escape vape
Yes.
poster contest.
Yes, we can do that. We had Arian Greathouse, who won second place out of all of Columbiana County, which is pretty commendable, and she won a $75 gift card from Amazon. So,
Okay,
and that.
stand up for our camera, please.
Be brave, Arian.
See a picture of Arian on here with her poster, and maybe a prelude to this is, vaping is a real issue, not just at Leetonia schools, but in every school, and it's something we're really trying to educate our younger students on so that they're not coming into later years, high school or adult years, of doing things that just we know aren't healthy for us. So it's a good way to get the message out. You've done that, and we appreciate it. So Arian is one of them.
Yes, and Carly Sims is also an eighth grader, and Carly won honorable mention.
Okay, and I have Carly's, I'll pass these around, but don't get tied up in vaping. Right, Carly? You? Okay. Thank you so much.
And we have Bailey Larimore, seventh grader, and Bailey came in with honorable mention also.
Sure, please. Thank you very much. Let me find George in here.
Bailey actually did that when you were recovering from your surgery, right, Bailey? Yeah, brought it in. Even though she wasn't here, she took part in it. And then Chloe Williams, a seventh grader, also got honorable mention, and she is not here tonight. So.
Thanks to Chloe. We had students in grades in 5th grade, 6th grade, or 7th. Actually, Brandon's here, right, Brandon? Brandon? No, wrong one. I was thinking he was, but Adelina, no. Just these ones right here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing this. The elementary, we had 2 students for art.
The Columbiana County Art Show, yes.
And we had, I believe we had Alexandria Andrick and Addison McCord.
Yes.
Okay. And they're not with us tonight, but I'll pass their pictures around as well. Wonderful job. And Mrs. Culp is not here tonight, our high school, but we had a number of participants in the 9/12 art show through the county, and I'll be passing these around. I think I talked a little bit about it last month, but there's some more here. Do we have anyone that participated in here in that I missed tonight? Okay. I'll make sure we get everybody. The worst thing I could do is miss someone coming in. Thank you. Spelling bee. So we had 2 participants here tonight, right? Okay, we just have not Caden, but we have Thomas. Okay, Thomas, you want to stand up? We have your certificate here. This was the Morning Journal Salem News and Review spelling bee participation. And if I remember right, Thomas was, you had to be the first one or not at the spelling bee in the county? First one. Out of, I think there was 42 or 48, something to that effect, and Thomas had to go first, and that's not easy. I can tell you that. That's not easy. So, Jonah, I don't believe, is here. Prince, and we also had Caden Swanson, our local winner, but Caden is not here either. Am I missing anyone there? Okay. We also had the pleasure, we have a number of students, high school students, that have been nominated in addition participate in the Columbia County Honors Band and Choir for 2023, and they actually play next Saturday, this coming Saturday, at 2 p.m. At Salem High School. That's the 25th. It's open to the public, and it's $5 to attend. We have Tegan Arter, Emma Cartwright, Ashton Gillette, Alexis Solomon Hanson, Samantha Solomon Hanson, Cody Bean, Casey Williams, and Kaylin Wilson that are part of that honors band in Salem. So congratulations to those students as well. Mrs. Dolak's talked about the art show. I believe I've able to talk about the spelling bee. We have our junior class Destination Imagination team, the Brainy Bears, won first place at regional competition and will be headed to state on April 1st in Barberton. So congratulations to that group. Am I missing anyone in here at this point? Okay, very good. Congratulations, students. I'm really glad you could show up, and this, we want to make this a big deal because it is a big deal. You're doing things that are good, and you should be proud of yourself, and your family's very proud of what you do here. So, and we just want to take a moment and recognize.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Some other things, and I don't know if you want to stay or not. You're welcome to. Maybe there'll be a clean break here in a moment I could offer if you didn't want to stay. Coach Mardiga, our athletic director, Mr. Mardiga, is here. I want to talk just very briefly about our basketball coaches that have are moving on through retirement.
Yeah, Coach Ritz spent several years here as a coach, spent 44 years total coaching, and this year he resigned and retired as a basketball coach here. He coached at several schools throughout the valley, did a really great job. Overall, he had over 100 wins as a head coach, which is very impressive. 5 district runner-ups, 3 district titles, 6 conference championships, 12-time NBA Coach of the Year, 2-time TCC Coach of the Year. Historic coaching career, did a really nice job. We got this plaque for him, and we're going to present it to him here when he comes in next.
Thank
And
you,
then,
Coach.
also the girls basketball team this year, McKendra Cole broke an individual record. She had 26 rebounds in a single game, so we got this plaque to present to her for breaking that record. Boys and girls, boys had a pretty tough season, but showed growth throughout the year, and that's really what you want to see, is individual growth, and eventually that would accumulate into team growth and transition into some wins. Girls, same thing, had some injuries throughout the year, which really hindered progress, but all the girls worked hard and really gave it their all throughout the season. So we can see improvement, which is the direction we want to go. So,
Thank you, Mr. Marty. Okay, I know, Mr. Duco, you have a student achievement report. I was going to see if Mrs. George wanted to. Mr. George is later on in the.
That is fine.
Is there a resolution? Want to wait until then? Okay. Mr. Duco?
So the CCCTC, Leetonia had 4 students that are going to be inducted into the NTHS, which is the National Technical Honor Society. And the criteria for that is you have to have a 3.0 GPA, and then you have to show outstanding or excellence in your particular field. Our 4 students are Emma Clark, and she is cosmetology. Martina Cole, she is interactive multimedia. Kayla Kaminsky is in vet and tech science, and Jack Snyder is interactive multimedia. So it's nice that we have 4 students recognized.
And the date on that, Mr. April 5th?
April 5th will be their induction ceremony.
Thank you. One housekeeping note here, committee meetings for policy and guidelines. Mr. Duco and Mr. Henderson, if you have a preference, we have not had that committee meeting. If you have a preference in the next several weeks, just
All right, I'll send you an email.
okay, that'd be great. I think, again, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. We're going to move forward with the rest of the business of the board, and certainly up to you if you want to stay or not. But again, thank you to our students for coming and those that could bring them. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, we're in old business, and it's 6A, Bears to Be. You're aware we have Bears to Be preschool that we've had lease contracts with Bears to Be over the years. We recommend an action to approve a 1-year lease extension for Bears to Be preschool for the 23-24 school year. Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
7A high school diplomas, probably one of the more gratifying things that board members and all of us in this room look forward to, and that's the class of 2023 graduation. The recommended action is to grant the members of the class of 23, which is 42 seniors, their high school diploma on Saturday, May 27th, 2023 at 1 p.m. The caveat contingent upon their successful completion of the Ohio Department of Education guidelines.
Motion. Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
7B and C, 24-25 academic calendar, which you have before you. A reminder, we've, in the last number of years, had a two-year calendar in advance of the upcoming school years. Allows parents, students, board members, all of us to plan a number of years out with those important dates like graduation and opening day of school, opening week of school, vacations. So this is a 24-25, asking you to recommend actions to approve that, along with 7C, which is approved the 22-23 junior senior prom. It's held on April 28th, located at Drake's Landing at 7 p.m. There is a promenade, and that'll be held at 6 p.m. at the Main Street Theater in Columbiana, the Vagabond Theater downtown. That's at 6, and then the promenade, or prom, is at 7 at Drake's Landing.
Motion.
Second? Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes. 8A, another standalone use of facilities. We have 3 on here. RASA program, Mr. Aldermore to hold baseball, softball practice on the following dates. Same thing with in the small gym and on the fields. And Club Hollywood, who's been in here for the last number of weeks using the facility, which of course there's a rental and also pay for any of our custodial time. But it is a nice fundraiser for our clubs to run the concession stands, and that helps provide necessary funds for their programs.
Motion?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Meyer?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes. Okay, I have 9AB. I'm mistaken. This changed a little bit on me. 9A is supplemental contracts. And recommend the following supplemental contracts pending all backgrounds and certifications for 22-23 school year. Matt Burns, junior high track coach, step 1. Mr. Bob Baya, head girls track coach, step 0. Shana Smith, dean of students. Lauren Woolley, dean of students, K6, step 0. Rick Mullinex and Angela Dunn, dean of students, step 712, step 0. Scott Fredericks, half-year head weight room coach advisor, step 4. And for 23-24 school year, Matt Burns is head golf coach at step 0. Also, game workers, recommended action to approve the following game workers: Elias Zayas, effective 1/1/22, and Martina Cole, effective 1/28/22. Am I missing something there?
It's wrong on the agenda, it should be 22.
Okay.
The date should be 22, it says 23, it should be 22.
Okay.
For November?
Yes.
Last year, 11-1?
They started in winter sports. They were missed on the original sheet of game workers,
Thank you.
that's what happened.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Sorry, I just...
On the, can you just take a minute and explain dean of students? I know we negotiated that, and we talked about it in negotiations.
Let me give you an
Refresh my
example.
memory.
We negotiated back about this time last year. And as you all are aware, Mr. Crumpack would be an example here. Mr. Crumpack had neck surgery, was off school for about a week or so, and came back. He's doing great. This gives us the opportunity with a certificated staff member to fill in and take over some of the roles of a building principal when in the absence of the principal. So we have a K-6, and there's 2 of them because maybe one of them might be absent when the principal's absent. So we have 2 as a backup. Same thing for the 712. Mrs. Dunnigan was at a title conference for 3 days this week, and we had 2 different dean of students in the hallways talking to students if they were at all needed some time to talk to, cafeteria, you name it, just in lieu of the building principal. As far as anything beyond any normal suspensions, any of that nature, certainly they are not doing that. I would be called in to help in any way that I can, but it's been a really nice transition when the building principal is out to have one other person that we can go to in the event that they need some assistance.
And then do we get a substitute?
We get a sub for the dean of students for that day, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merrick?
Yes.
10A, substitutes, and we also have substitutes, actually to approve Stephanie Bate as a sub-nurse for the 22-23 school year, and approve Cameron Olish as a substitute teacher for the 22-23 school year. And I also have 11A and B. 11A is Cleone Smith retirement, accept retirement of Cleone Smith effective March 1st of 23. Mrs. Smith, whom most of you know very well, has been in the district for 31 years as a coach and a teacher. Very effective, dedicated, hardworking teacher. Will sorely be missed by our students, colleagues, and parents. And I wish Mrs. Smith a long and healthy retirement. Along some of the similar lines, we have our, Mrs. Heidi George here this evening. There's a recommended action to accept Heidi George's resignation effective April 2nd, 2023. And I'll ask Mrs. George to speak here in a moment. Wish her the very best as she is relocating out of state into Pennsylvania. And Mrs. George was hired in August of 97, excuse me, can't read my own writing. Sorry, 97. And I think that totals about 26 years, roughly. So again, I'll say the same thing to you. Thank you for your service. And you'll be sorely missed by all of us here. I'll let the board do their thing. If you will.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Congratulations or good luck.
Thank you.
And the same for
Thank you.
Cleone. Yes.
I do want to say, I moved my children to this district when they were in 6th and 2nd grade, and Mrs. Smith was the first person. We came on a tour in the summertime, and my oldest son, who obviously graduated and is now 24 years old, Mrs. Smith was the first person to kind of embrace him. He was very nervous, very anxious as an incoming 6th grader, and she was the first person that we met and welcomed him, made him feel very comfortable. So that's a memory that I have. She did a phenomenal job and really welcomed him and embraced him. So I wish her the best and definitely wish you the best in your relocation. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merrick?
Yes.
And appropriately, Mrs. George.
I'm very, I will probably cry. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Dear members of the board, administration, and Leetonia community, the reason I'm here this evening is bittersweet. Effective Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, I will be resigning from Leetonia Exempted Village School District. My husband and I have chosen to take our next adventure in this life. We are moving to Clinton County, Pennsylvania. This was to be our retirement home, but as things have turned out, we will get to be there sooner. For us, it's a little slice of heaven in the middle of nowhere. We will have more four-legged neighbors than two-legged neighbors. I have also accepted a teaching position at Keystone Central School District. I wanted to speak tonight so I could have the opportunity to thank each and every one of you for an amazing 26 years. I do not take this job lightly. As a teacher, I have had the chance to make a difference in someone's life every day. In 26 years, I have had the chance to teach hundreds of students here in Leetonia. I have taught most of your children. And if I haven't taught your children, I've taught your friends, neighbors, or family members' children. As a teacher, I hope I've impacted some of my students' lives, but I know for sure the students of Leetonia have changed my life forever. I'm not sure if you believe in fate, but I remember driving down Walnut Street with my then fiance, but now husband, Monty. Some 27 years ago, we drove by the then Orchard Hill School, and I asked Monty, "What school is that?" He told me, "Leetonia." I said to him, "I'm going to teach there one day." Little did I realize that a drive down Walnut Street would change my life forever. I am very fortunate to have been in Leetonia's schools for these 26 years. I have made some amazing friends that are my co-workers. I will miss every one of them, from the teachers to the custodians, secretaries, kitchen workers, bus drivers, paras, the nurse, and administration. I have met some acquaintances that are parents, caregivers, and guardians. These people have also touched and formed my life in some way. But my students are my kids. I'm going to miss my kids very much. So it is with these words that I say thank you. Thank you for my career, my friendships, my home away from home, but mostly thank you for my kids. I may be gone, but Leetonia will always be a part of my life. Once a bear, always a bear. Go Blue. I'm sorry.
You did good.
You did very well.
Thank you, Mrs. George. Now you expect me to follow that.
Right.
Okay, we are on 11D.
C.
See,
Thank you.
it's my fault. I moved the agenda around, I'm sorry.
11C. Before and after care program, approve the following before and after care program staff for 22-23 school year. Kim Carter is classified, Casey Harris certified, Karen Marcoux certified, Amy Basman classified, and Bridget Lazier classified. And the difference $20 for classified employees, $25 for the certificated employees. Also, D, unpaid leave, Amy Basman, approve Amy Basman's request for unpaid leave of absence March 9th and 10th, 2023.
Motion.
One more.
Second.
This is C.
We're gonna go back to
This is
C.
D.
Do we want to go back to that?
Can I back up?
Yes, please, sorry. I'm sorry, it's my fault.
Yeah. We have an MOU here with OPSI, so this would be actually B or D now.
I'm going to see him.
That is C.
That's
C.
C. Thank you.
Mhm.
11C. Approve the attached MOU between Leetonia Exempted Village School District and Ohio Associates of Public School Employees, local number 2224, regarding overtime. Part of your executive content is that you'll see the language. There was two words that were left out in this contract when we negotiated. It was calamity days. Holidays, personal, vacation, calamity days, and sick leave count as time work for this purpose. So it's a clarification, but because it wasn't in the contract, you need to have an MOU, and that's board approval, and also OPSI would sign off on it as well. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion there. So if you want to combine all three of those? Is that what you're-
Whatever you want to do.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
And I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Duco?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merrick?
Yes.
Okay. So 11 what?
I think you did C, D, and E there, so you'll start with F.
We have a board member appointment. Where a vacancy has been caused on the Board of Education by reason of non-residence, and whereas this Board of Education has the legal authority to fill a vacancy within an expired term thereof, now therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of all the remaining members of the Board of Education, Leetonia Exempted Village School District. So this person is to be named. The way procedurally it would work is we would appoint the new board member by nominating and then by vote for that new board member to fill in the unexpired term of Mr. Richard Hendricks, and that would be effective July 29th.
nomination.
Yeah, so
I'd like to nominate Marilyn Biddleston.
So we have a second for Marilyn.
I'll second it.
Nominations.
Any other nominations?
discussion?
Well, obviously, we'll say that we appreciate both of the folks that came and interviewed. And it's hard to do that because somebody's not going to get selected, but we appreciate the fact that they came.
Motion?
Oh,
That was-
sorry,
yeah,
that was
I
the
was gonna say, I
nomination.
thought that's what
Yes.
that was.
Mr. Gotha,
Yes.
Mr. Duca,
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks,
Yes.
Mr. Henderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt.
Yes.
Out of whack tonight.
So before the Vice Marilyn Heddleston. Heddleston is appointed to serve as a member of the board for an expired term effective July 29, 2023. We have 11G, my Amato resignation. Mrs. Mayor, Mrs. Holtzno, anything you'd like to?
Yeah, Maya, which you knew, she was part-time at Utica. They want her to take on additional responsibilities there and give her full-time, and it's 20 minutes from her house, and she's driving from Wellsville, so she could not pass that up. So bless her for the work she's done. She's great. We're going to miss her. She really brought a lot of life to our office, but this is a really good opportunity for her.
Very nice, very talented young lady, Maya Amato, part-time assistant treasurer, and her effective date's April 1st, her resignation. Along with 11H, contract amendment, assistant treasurer, approve amendment to your limited contract for Sean Gaffney, for assistant treasurer. Jen?
So Sean has agreed to take on some of her her duties, not all of them, but some additional ones. So between him and I, we're going to try to figure this out at least for the end of the fiscal year and see if we need help. I figured we'll try it and see what happens. Sean has really brought technology to the payroll department in a lot of ways, so I think that has freed him up a little bit to concentrate on more than just payroll. So him and I are gonna try it and see what happens, and if all else fails and we need additional help, we'll at that time figure that out. So I'd like to give him a little bit more for the additional duties that he's taking on.
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
Does Sean have his
Treasurer's
license?
license. Yes, he
does?
does. He does.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, it's very
Well,
nice.
it's good and bad.
It's good and bad, yes. Same thing with Maya, she
Yes.
had hers too.
Okay.
So, yeah, when you get your treasurer's license, you're a hot commodity,
Yeah.
because there's just not a lot of people out there who do it, so. We'll hold on to Sean as long as we can, but I know he won't be around forever either, so.
And good luck to her and her new.
Yeah, we're gonna miss her. Maya was great. She really took over for Sue, giving Dennis a hard time, so it worked out well.
She did. She did a nice job of it.
Roll call?
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
And I have 3 standalone resolutions. 12A, Julian and Group, approve Julian and Group Incorporated as auditor of Medicaid school program for the fiscal years 24 and 25. I'm just going to need a clarification for that, Jen.
Yeah, so because we receive Medicare dollars, we have to be audited by an accounting firm for it. The nice thing is that with Julian and Group, or whomever may do it, most of the time, what we've certified to the state is not everything. So doing this, we usually bring in additional dollars. So that's another nice thing of why we do this. So we've been working with them for 6 years now, and I'd like to continue with them because they do a good job, and they did our gap audit this year. So I'd like to work with one firm for all of the needs that we have.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
12B, resolution to accept asphalt paving bid. Last month I talked about the bids that went out. And to remind everyone, this piece of asphalt paving would be to the north of the locker room field house on that gravel area. And then they'll excavate the grass, take that out, put asphalt down to the west behind the home stands, behind the fence for additional handicap parking, which will be so nice to be able to drive down, park behind, and those that need that accessibility can walk or wheelchair into the stadium. So the resolution reads, whereas a part of the renovation plan it's necessary to contract for construction of asphalt paving, whereas the district received 3 bids and had the opportunity with the architect and design team to review each bid for statutory compliance, job specification requirements, and related construction requirements. Whereas the administrative staff with the assistance of our architect and design team have determined that the bid received by RT Vernal Paving is the lowest responsible bid submitted. Now therefore be resolved, Leetonia exempted village school district accept the bid from RT Vernal Paving in the amount of $149,650 based upon the scope of work and fees outlined in the fee proposal they submitted. Reminder, this money is paid through our ARP, American Recovery Plan dollars, and very much looking forward to, if the board approves this, to commence work on this.
Motion.
Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes. And the last thing on our agenda before executive session is C, program of study for the 23-24 school year. You know, when I'm talking to the students when they walked in saying how quickly the school year is gone, this is a pretty good example how quickly the school year is gone. We're sitting here and we're talking about 23-24. This is the high school program of studies. Mr. Krumpak, our 712 principal, has worked extremely hard in getting this document prepared. The changes from 23 to 23-24 have been highlighted in your executive content, and also on, I believe, the one that I just gave you, we probably have some highlighted areas as well, which it does. I think it does. Okay, good. So we're recommending to approve the program study scheduling information for 23-24.
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
So under math, it looks like we're bridging the students that didn't pass the test. They have an opportunity now to, that's.
So we are juniors most likely.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to compliment him. I look hard through this looking for mistakes. And
Hope you happy to hear that.
I'd like to compliment him on that.
Roll call?
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks? Mrs. Merritt?
Yes. We'll adjourn to executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 12122G1. I hereby move that the board adjourn to executive session for the purpose of considering the discipline, employment, dismissal, promotion, or compensation of a public employee pursuant to ORC Section 121. I hereby move that the board adjourn to executive session to prepare negotiations, just the first one, with no action taken. Okay.
I'll make the motion that it includes the 5 board members and the treasurer and superintendent. And
Mr. Martin.
And Mr. Martin.
Second.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Duca?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mr. Votak?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Mrs. Merritt?
Yes.
6:40.